Welcome to Ego NetCast. I am Martin Lindeskog, and this is a new show segment called Ego Search. It's a play on words on my blog name Ego and Egoist, and also that you're doing an ego search on yourself, on your services, products, company name and so on, for example, Google search engine. And this idea came up when I was listening to a podcast by Nathan Latka, the top podcast. I listened to his show style and interview techniques on entrepreneurs and so on. At the bottom of the show notes, I saw it was provided by Mallard Creatives. And then I sent them an email and asked how much the service were, how much the cost. And they have a segment of 20 minutes for a certain amount. And so I will now invest more in my hobby here, podcasting, in order to do a niche and find my unique value proposition, doing an ego search. And that could maybe be a product placement in the future by search engines and so on, to joke aside. So the summary of this segment is: could this new segment of Ego NetCast podcast become the unique value proposition or unique selling point or proposition in the search of a perfect tag in the feed? And the feed there is play also on name the feed, the official podcast by Libsyn. They have some other podcast also calling themselves the feed. For example, Amber Mac in Canada, I look up to as a social media expert. So this could be a tag that you find with ego search. And that was, I listened to Libsyn Live, number 27, iTunes feed tag and Libsyn publishing interface updates. Is it a so-called discovery problem to find a podcast? I'm doing interviews on new media, business philosophy and the good life, including tea. And then I have this solo show that I'm talking about meta, about podcasting and so on. And then now this new segment, shorter interview with a company, organization, something about a tool or service, and seeing what you find on the net. My main category is philosophy, but it's also technology and podcasting. So this could be a great add-on, and we'll play along and see how this could come out. And this title will be then 000, and it's also play in the words in Wikipedia, but this is like a chess play with the queen rockade, as you say. So with the if you do an ego search on my name, Martin Lindeskog, what will you find then? For example, go to duckduckgo.com and see what you find. And I'm for legalizing privacy, and I have that on my newsletter sign up. And DuckDuckGo is not saving any cookies and so on. So that could be an alternative search engine. And my first ego search interview and conversation will be with Addy Situ of Modern Vintage Radio and the Podcast Planner. And I listened to one of her latest episodes there, Podcast Compass, and it was interesting to see, because I know in a way why I'm doing this, fun of it, and what it could lead to. But it's very important and good exercise to think about. So I will be doing these meta shows and solo shows and be very open and transparent about my compass, the basics, and my journey. So I will use then the podcast planner book and the templates and so on for the future. And I think that could be my unique value proposition when I'm setting up my last so-called website called Teaparty.media. And what I'm doing, I'm working with new media. I'm moderating sites, and I'm having clients, helping them starting, for example, a podcast, and using social media activities. And then I want to have a philosophical approach to this. That's why I have a trader principle segment in my interview at around half time. And then the whole thing is to achieve your values and living a good life. And in my case, it's writing a book series on tea, and that will lead to other things also in the future. So I recently had this mastermind group session that's facilitated by Fizzle.co, Fizzle company, and it's coming up to focus on the book writing and the crowdfunding campaign for the illustrations on my first forthcoming book on tea. That will be black tea. So again, coming back to this interview by Nathan Latka, he's interviewed a guy from Process Street, process.st. He's CEO of Process Street, and that his name is Vinaya Pantankar, and he raised 1.3 million in order to help you to be more efficient. We have lots of templates and checklists and so on, so check out Process Street. And another thing that you think about, to add something new, and what could this lead to, and will I keep up with the workflow and so on. As I have been saying, I have been struggling with to podcast on a regular basis and also to blog on a regular basis. So now with the last site here, in an upcoming site, will be my umbrella and cover everything that I'm doing, and the focus will be on Ego NetCast podcast and on the book writing on tea. So because I read an article here, a blog post by Kate Costa, calling the title was Dealing with the Imposter Syndrome as an Entrepreneur. And that's a challenge that people think, could you fake it until you make it and so on. And this is this openness and my philosophy and my values, that I'm doing it in an open way, in a rational way, and I have a purpose here. And so please follow me along on this journey here with this new segment. I have been called the internet Skavlan of the internet, and he's a Norwegian from Norway, talk show host, that I'm listening to the guests and coming with input there. And also, this is also that it's not struggling with, but challenge, that social media is not rocket science. But I've been doing this for a long time. I've been blogging for more than 15 years and podcasting since 2006. And I will keep doing it, and I will do it for the long run. So this mastermind group and the Fizzle forum has given me energy and fuel for my soul and for my ongoing work. So, and also to find, attract clients. I'm now helping a client that I met at the BNI meeting as a guest, and she will starting her own podcast on management and leadership. So that will be interesting to follow along. So I like this so-called podcast movement. And also some inspiration have been through Small Business Spotlight series by Small Business Trends, giving spotlight and focus on a service, on a product and a company, and they send it into Small Business Trends, smallbiztrends.com. And this is like a free service, and I will do it also. So please, if you're interested to be in this segment in the future, please reach out to me, for example on Voxer, and going to my support page, egonetcast.com/support and /contact in order to contact me. And with the support page, you could, for example, download my standalone app. If you search on Google Play on Ego NetCast, or iTunes and Apple Storeware, and also Amazon's Android store, you will find Ego NetCast. And that's like a unique selling point, to have your own standalone app and to be found out there when you're doing, for example, an ego search. So with that, I'll thank you for listening, and talk to you soon again. So I will end here with putting on the tea kettle. Cheerio.